shoulders over here. Okay? So what I do personally is my reins control the horse's head and neck. My reins control the horse's head and neck. My legs control from the shoulders back. So if I'm walking a circle to the left, if I want this horse to spin left, I don't pull more with my left rein, I press with my right leg. When I press with my right leg, it means move his shoulders. If I press with my inside leg, he moves out and around. If I push more with my inside leg, he moves out. If I press more with my outside leg, he moves his shoulders. So your reins control the head and neck. Your legs control from the shoulders back. So if I make him look right, now press with my left leg, that means spin right. If the left rein isn't telling him to spin left right now, it just makes him look that way. When I press here with my right leg, he goes this way. Does that make sense? Why do I do that? Because you can't get control of your horse's body all from the reins. You've got to use your reins and your legs together as a team. So reins, head, neck, legs from the shoulders back. Next body part we want to gain control of is the horse's rib cage. This is what I call two-tracking stage 1. I want to be able to push the horse's body laterally off my leg. And when I say off my leg, even though I've got spurs on, I want to press him with the calf of my leg. If I feel like he gets lazy, I'll press him like that with the spur. A spur, to me, is not something we're using for speed. We're using it to reinforce the calf of my leg. So if I press with my calf, like right here, no need to touch him with the spur. He's nice and light. So horses are just like people. If they can be a little lazy with you and lean on your leg, they will. So it's important. I don't use spurs to make a horse go. I use spurs as a reinforcement. But if I press you with the calf of my leg, my boot, you'll respect that and get off it. So this is two-tracking stage 1, where, watch, the horse's head and neck is bent, and his body from his shoulders back is relatively straight. See how he's putting two sets of tracks in the dirt? Look, his front feet and his back feet are making two separate tracks. Another way I want to do it, a little more advanced way, is you want to be able to do it with the horse's body straight. So now I'm going to keep his head and neck straight. It's what two-tracking stage 2. He's moving his body laterally off my leg, but his body's straight. Okay? This is the foundation of a lead change. When horses do a flying lead change, it's like a mini side pass in the air. So this is a big part of getting your horse to do a flying lead change, is make sure his body will move laterally off your leg. What's funny is, you can call it a side pass, two-track, and whatever you want. The better your horse moves laterally off your leg, the better he'll do everything else. So you might want to open a gate, now you want to be able to shut the gate. The better your horse side passes, the better he'll stop, the better he'll turn. I know it sounds odd, but it's just one thing that if you do it, everything else just seems to get better. Okay? So why do we want to get control of the rib cage? Well, that's important to be able to do a circle. For example, I might be in a circle to the right here. If I put my inside leg on, I want to push him out of that circle. Now I'm going to do a circle this big. If I put my outside leg on, I might want him to move into the circle. Okay? If I put my inside leg on, move his rib cage, push him back out of the circle. So getting control of your horse's rib cage will give you really good control when you're circling your horse. Okay? The last body part we want to gain control of is the horse's hindquarters. So if I put my leg back and gently press, I want him to pivot on his inside front foot. Watch his left front foot. When he's doing it correctly, all 3 feet will go around his inside front foot. This is what Jeff was doing this morning. So this is what we call yield the hindquarter stage 1, where he's pivoting on his front end, and he's disengaging his rear end. Okay? We also want to be able to do it in a straight line. So I'm going to ride straight towards the R and Richie. Put my right leg back, push his hip to the left. Now I'm going to put my left leg back and press, and move his hip over to my right. his front feet are in line with the R of Richie. Now my right leg back, push his hips over here. So why would you want to get control of the horse's hindquarters like this? Picking up the correct lead. So for example, when people say, Clinton, I can't pick up the left lead, all they're telling you is they don't have control of the horse's hindquarters. So for example, if I want to pick up the left lead, I'm going to exaggerate this for the point of the story, but if I want to pick up the left lead, I'm going to put my right leg back and move his hip where? To the inside of the circle. So now when I kiss to him, which is my cue to lope, okay, he can't help but pick up the left lead here. If I want him to pick up. Now I want him to pick up a right lead. Put my left leg back, I'm exaggerating. I'm pushing his hip way over here, this is exaggerated. If I want him to lope on the right lead, picks up the right lead. So when people say, Clinton, I'm having trouble picking up the correct lead, what they're really telling me is, Clinton, I don't have any control of my horse's hindquarters. Flying lead changes. Clinton, my horse has trouble changing leads. What they're really telling you is, Clinton, they don't have control of the horse's hindquarters. Okay? Flying lead changes is about the rib cage and the hindquarters. So I'm on the right lead, left lead. I'm going to counter him a little bit here. Okay? See there, a little greenness there, he changed behind and he was a straight leg. So that's where he just needs a few more months training. So a lead change is basically driving the horse, right leg on, right leg on, right leg on, left leg on, left leg on, left leg on, right leg on, right leg on. Okay? So when somebody says, Clinton, I have trouble changing leads, lead change is not your problem. Problem is you don't have control of the horse's body parts. When you get control of the horse's body parts and you go back and change leads, guess what the horse will do? He'll just change. That, you know what I mean? So, every problem you can name me that you're having trouble with a horse doing something, like Clinton, my horse doesn't spin to the left very good, or he doesn't back up straight. A lot of horses back up crooked. Like I'm going to put my right leg back, I'm making him do it, but a lot of horses back up like this, they're crooked. I deliberately go out of my way to back my horses in circles. Got my left leg back, pushing his hip to the left. His nose is pushing his hips, to my right. His nose to the right, his hips to the right. My left leg's back. Now I'm going to put my right leg back, pushing his hip to my left, and his nose is to the left. This is quite difficult. When you can get your horse to back in circles without a lot of fuss, backing straight is easy. I rarely back my horses straight. Now here's another exercise. I'm going to back him with the reverse arc. His head's tipped to the left, my left leg back, and I'm pushing his arse to my right, and with this leg, just a little bit, I'm helping his shoulders come this way. Now when I want to come out, I'm going to take my left leg off, put my right leg on, and he comes out in a spin. Okay? Backing around the other way. Right leg's back, left leg's forward, back in a circle. When he's soft and he's relaxed, put my left leg on, and he comes out. So all I'm trying to teach you in this demonstration is whatever problem you're having with your horse under saddle, if you find out what body part needs more oil on it, what body part's not soft and supple, and you go work on that soft and supple part, then whatever problem you're having will what? Disappear. Here's another great supplement exercise, what I call serpentines. It's on the intermediate series. Right hand, right leg. Left hand, left leg. I want them like a drunk snake. Just real bendy and soft and supple. Right hand, right leg. Left hand, left leg. Press with the calf of your leg. If he doesn't get off it, you can press him with the spur. But always ask him with just the calf of your leg. So my spurs are there to reinforce the seriousness if I press with my leg. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to ask with my calf. If I get the answer, that's all that's necessary. So I'll do this suppling exercise going down the trail. Right hand, right leg. Left hand, right hand, right leg. Left hand, left leg. Go down the trail and just get your horse really soft and supple like this. Okay? When you ride a horse that's really light and responsive, you will never go back to riding one that's pulling your arms out of your socket. The best way to describe what a horse feels like that's real broke is this. Like, okay, let me do this. That lady right there. Yep, what's your name? Julie? Julie. Okay, Julie. No, we don't know each other, correct? We've never met each other? No? Okay. So Julie, I'm going to ask you a question. There's no right and wrong answer to this, but I just want to ask you a couple questions, okay? Do you remember the first car you ever drove that had power steering? You do? What year was it? It was 1966 Cadillac what? Seville, never heard of it. Okay?
High roller right there is what.
1966 Chevrolet, what was it called? Cadillac Seville. Okay? 1966 was the year model. Or was that the year you drove it? That was the year model. What was the year that you actually drove that car? Just think about it just for a second. I bet you can think of it. 78. Do you remember where you were when you drove that car? Where were you? Where? Casper to Alcova Highway. How old were you? 17.
I'm doing the calculations right now.
Isn't that weird that we don't know each other, but I asked you a question, you could tell me what year, where you were, how old you were, and where you were actually in that location. Think about that. That's pretty powerful, but I don't know I didn't set this up. I can ask you a question and you can give me, what color was it? Silver. What did you notice when you got in that power steering car? What did you notice about driving it? That this took you off the road. That's exactly right. You could steer it with one finger, couldn't you? You could steer it with the open palm of your hand. Like me, when my dad wasn't watching, I'd steer it with my foot. Why? Just because I could. Seemed stupid at the time, thought like it was a good idea. Because you might be a little more mature than me, but all my